What's going on, guys? Coach Matt at yugoprobaseball.com, and we are here with Kevin Graber, KG, and we're talking about base running today. This is the man when it comes to base running. Coach at the professional level, college level, Cape Cod League, coaching now at the high school. His team, 11 championships. This guy was coach of the year many times. We're going to talk about breakdowns at first base. Very important. Some philosophy behind it. What do you got?
Now, you'll see some guys, run to first base. If the play is made 6-7 feet in front of them, they'll kind of stop sprinting. And they'll hit first base and they'll sort of meander out toward the right field foul pole. Or even if they're safe at first base, they'll hit first base and they'll overrun the bag and just keep going kind of like out toward the foul pole. What we do in our program, we have a really, really specific technique for running to first base. We call it breakdowns at first base. So we make contact with a ball, it's hit to an infielder, they're throwing across the diamond, and we are on a dead sprint, and we hit the front of the bag. That's a point of emphasis, not the middle. And then after we hit that front of the bag, on the back side of the bag, we're gonna widen out with our feet, chop our steps, and look to the right for an overthrow. We wanna stop our momentum from going toward that right field foul pole and get it so that if the ball scoots into foul territory here, we can stop going this way and we got our momentum going back towards second base.
Is there a distance that you try to get your guys to stop within, or is it just as soon as possible?
3 steps.
3 steps.
The one thing that young players will not do, even after you explain this technique, is they won't widen out with their feet. They'll hit the front of the bag and they'll just kind of do, and that's hard. If you widen out, you get that solid, stable base underneath you, you can stop your momentum from going this way and get it going towards second base on an overthrow. And we have a really cool drill for this. We'll have 4 or 5 lines of kids, depending on the number of players on your roster. We'll have 4 or 5 bases set up for first base, and they will take a fake swing. They'll run it out through first base, they'll hit the front of the bag, they'll break down, and then I'll be the coach over here in foul territory. If I point to the ground, that signifies overthrow. So they chop their feet and then they take a few steps towards second base. If I don't point to the ground, they break down at first base and they get back in line. So that gets them used to having to take their eyes to the right to look for that overthrow.
That's awesome. Now, what about the like rounding the base? What kind of approach are you taking there?
Yeah, and that's with young baseball players, I see this a lot quite often, is they'll hit a ball in the air or in the gap and they're running directly toward first base. And then they kind of have to do this kind of thing like in the cartoons. So one drill that we do is to get them used to angling out of the batter's box on contact when that ball is going to be clearly in the outfield, is we'll actually if for a right-handed hitter, we'll put a garbage can in the left-handed hitter's box. So that rather than coming straight toward first base, they have to get out on an angle, on a turn right away. So that's a ball that's hit immediately into the outfield. On a ball that's hit on the ground and then gets through the infield, that's what we call a question mark turn, because they gotta run straight while that ball's on the ground before it gets through. And then when they see it get through, then they make that curved part of the question mark around the base. So that's another one that we drill. And
there's no specific time to start the question mark, it's just about when they see it through, then they start the question mark.
Like I am busting my butt toward first base, and then when I see it get through, I gotta get out and make a hard turn with a little bit of a lean in toward the field.
Very nice. And what about when they're hitting the bag? How do you teach that? Inside
part of the bag, either the right or left foot. It tends to be right foot 99% of the time. And I saw this on social media. I don't remember who did this, but some guy took all the kids' cell phones and put it on the base. So, and the only part that was clear was the inside part of the bag. And he said that really helped them, actually get the part of the bag that you're supposed to. I don't do that.
What about coming out of the batter's box, like after a hit? Is there a technique there, or you just want to rely on their athleticism?
So, the first priority there, I think, for us is to make a good swing and hit the ball hard. And then, drop the bat and get going, either in your turn or toward first base. So we haven't been too intentional about that technique. But
let's say that they're coming around, they got a double, they're coming around, they're thinking about a triple. Mm-hmm. What are they looking for? Are they looking in the outfield, or are they picking you up around first base, or like what? How do you coach that?
We always want our guys knowing where the baseball is. We talked about a lot of stuff between first and second. That is another pet peeve of mine, is when you give a hit and run to the hitter or a slash and run, they break for second base and they don't find the baseball and the ball's hit and play and they're kind of like, whoa, what's happening? We want them to see the ball in front of them for sure. And we want to prepare whatever might happen to get us second base potentially. Our turns at first base, we kind of like to aim our turns at the fielder. So if the ball's hit to the left fielder, we can really get out there and aim ourselves at that left fielder. If the ball's hit to the center fielder in this gap, it's more we like to aim it toward that fielder. If it's toward right field, where they can actually maybe like throw us out at first base, you know, that's a little bit of a different turn there. So we put some cones out to simulate fielders, and sometimes we'll talk about the directions of our turns at first base.
That's really
well.
cool. I never heard that before. I like that one.
I may have invented that, I don't know.
That's really cool. That is cool stuff. Guys, take this stuff, implement it. If you want to learn more, go on YouTube, Big Blue Baseball. I'll leave the link down below. Go over there and subscribe. He's putting out a bunch of great content over there. So if you got any questions, leave them down below, and we'll jump down there and try to answer anything you got. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one where we're talking about the coach's box.